Facts do not exist. Facts are created.
Fraud. Bribery. A secret offshore company.
We have concluded that we need to do more politically to control the court, to pressure the court. We believe they make decisions based on who they fear the most, not based on what the law should dictate.
This is the story of what has been called the legal fraud of the century. In 1964, Texaco Petroleum began drilling for oil in Ecuador and later partnered with the state-owned company, Petroecuador. Almost 30 years later, Texaco ceased its production there, leaving Petroecuador as the sole oil producer. Texaco spent $40 million cleaning up its agreed-upon share of production sites, getting a complete release from the Ecuadorian government and local communities. Some years go by. In the U.S., Texaco gets acquired by Chevron, and in Ecuador, a lawsuit is filed, not against Petroecuador, the company responsible for the remaining cleanup, but against Chevron. This is Stephen Donziger, an American lawyer who in 2003 claimed Chevron was responsible for contamination in Ecuador, even though he had no scientific evidence to prove it, but millions to gain if he could sell his story. And sell it he did.
This is marketing. You have to get people to attend, and once they're there, you got to put on a good show.
In 2011, an Ecuadorian court issued a judgment against Chevron for $19 billion. Donziger was ready to collect his payday. He even set up a secret offshore company to make sure he got paid first. But that's when the fraud starts to unravel. As evidence of misconduct began to surface in 2011, Chevron took its case to the United States, filing its own lawsuit against Donziger and his associates in a U.S. federal court. It was discovered that Donziger and his team made up scientific evidence and bribed court officials with hundreds of thousands of dollars. They even wrote the judge's final decision for him, where sections were copied and pasted from their internal notes word for word, same typos and all. Then there was the documentary Crude, which was made to portray Donziger as a hero, but outtakes showed Donziger blatantly talking about intimidating and pressuring judges and committing other fraudulent acts.
This is Ecuador, okay? You say whatever you want. In the end of the day, there's 1,000 people around the courthouse, you're going to get what you want.
Chevron presented all this information in a U.S. district court in 2013, including the testimonies of 17 former insiders of Donziger. One of these insiders was Donziger's former co-counsel named Jeffrey Schinder. When he found out about the fraud Donziger was committing, he stated,
"It made me sick."
In 2014, the court found that Donziger violated federal racketeering laws, committing mail-in wire fraud, money laundering, witness tampering, and obstruction of justice, and prohibited Donziger and his associates from profiting from it in the United States. Stephen Donziger thought he was going to get rich by suing a big oil company. But in the end, the U.S. District Court's decision helped expose the fraud, the bribery, and most importantly, the truth.